The future of mankind is in extreme danger because of what? The climate change crisis we all are witnessing. Industries across the world are releasing toxic gases into the environment, resulting in global warming, forest fires, heat waves, etc. A French artist, Mr. Pierre-Jean Giloux, understood the scenario and showcased through his imagination a beautiful visuals of consisting of threats and possible remedies in order to save the mankind. Team Vibes of India had an exclusive interview with the artist. So Pierre, basically the presentation was really fascinating for me personally because for me it's like I always watch these kind of stuff in movies, Instagram, like not realistic basically. What I have just seen is just that you are predicting something like a destruction in future just because of mankind, and you are also providing a remedy to it. So like, how much time have you spent on this idea, like how you can execute it? Because execution part is all about, implementation is all about. You have so many ideas, I have seen that, I have witnessed to it. You have extraordinary ideas, but how much time you have spent on building these ideas to show us that this can be possible if we all come together and do this?
It was something like I went in India in 2020, but I have to go back very quickly to France because of the COVID, of course. So I took footage from India and I record sound too. And afterwards, I came back to Paris to create the post-production. And it took me a lot of time because I don't have I have not enough footage. So I have to work with storyboards and to set it in India, and staff with a drone continue to film for me. And I create the 3D animations in I think in something like 1 year. The sketches and the first tries, yes, almost one year I think to create.
So like, you have selected India, I guess, for a particular reason. What's that reason? Like, where have you read that, India is facing such a huge problem? Like, other countries are also facing, but yeah, India, based on the population, billions, they are facing this problem. How did you, find it? What was your research about? And how did you execute this idea?
For me, it was the first time that I was in India, the first time. So I was very curious about what is this country. I have no idea, in fact, about your country. So I was traveling around many cities and try to understand something, try to see something, and try to understand how cities was built. And after I tried to make to have a cutting editing of the films, and I would like to invent something with the reality I found 3 years ago. And it took me a lot of time to have this idea and to put the virtuality with the reality together and try to understand something about India and to give it back to you in my films. Ideas, I think.
So basically, I have read about the solar systems, like how we are releasing global emissions, we are depleting ozone layer, and that is why climate change is happening. We are seeing rains where nobody has ever expected. We have seen forest fires in Amazon, Brazil, everywhere. So do you think that solar panels, it was mentioned in your idea that solar panels can be used to store the sun rays and generate electricity? It can be used, right, to save the emissions which are being released all over the world. In fact, in US, they are the one who are the capitalist crony, I would say. right? So like how do you think like the implementation of so many solar panels all around the world, it's gonna be costly, geopolitics is also there. So do you think everyone can come together in this noble cause?
I don't know, but I'm sure that it's a possibility to answer. For example, do you know that in India there is a lot of traffic? You know, tuk-tuk, cars and bus, etc., etc. So many. So it's a lot of pollution there. And one possibility is try to change this quickly to go to electricity to start with this because you have a lot of sun here and it's a chance for you that you get it. So anyway, even if the government or the different area in India could help persons to change the vehicles, less with less pollution, I think that it could be the beginning of an answer, for afterwards the solar panels. Maybe it's not the solution for everybody, and if we put this everywhere in the world, it's another one pollution. It's, you take care about pollution, but you make another pollution. So yes, we have to take care about that. Sure, absolutely sure.
So have you proposed your ideas to any government as of now, like any bureaucratic authority or anyone?
Not at all. I told you that it's the first time so I project the films, and but I had success in Chandigarh. Yes, a lot of newspaper talk about this work, and I think that it's possibility of it's an idea. Maybe we have to work on it. I think it's not finished, but it's a beginning of a new vision of cities in the future.
I have seen one part in your movie, which was religion and science can come together. Like you were showing a temple in the midst of the city, and on the other side there is a science technology of the panels for storing waters. Like, can you elaborate on that? Like, what was that about? Like, what was the idea behind it?
First time I saw Madurai, I was very I really like that, the global city and the look of the city with the temple. And I mean that this whole architecture could be matched with something very technologic approach. And I think that's the contrast between temples and sculptures and new technologies had a very big impact, visual impact together. That's the reason. And it's something like, you have something like the technology with, you have, I invent to resolve some problematic things, currently things, and the other part is something like symbolic, as you said, and religious too. So it's something like religious and practical life. I don't want to disassemble it. I want to put it together, in fact.
In your futuristic world, I've seen that there is calmness, there is peace. You can see the blue light coming from the sky. You can see that. But if I am a common man, if I see this video, I feel very scared. Like, is this a dark world we are going to witness? Like, everyone is like, mankind is all gone. Like, that's the thought I also got when I was watching the video. But then I also getting the perspective of yours, like how you made it. So like, don't you think this can give a mixed signal to the people, normal people who are watching this movie?
Yeah, that's what I want. That's why Usually in my films, I just make proposals, and I I let the people very free to make interpretation, and I really like that they invent their own possibility to see and to understand it. You know, I don't want to say you have to understand that and that and that. You have to feel it. You have to think about it, and you have to project you in the proposal. That's it. And I don't have any message to send. It's just have a reflection on it, and we will see what you think about that.
When we say that, pollutions and, like, let's say air pollution, like we are releasing toxic gases into the air, we have witnessed that into the developed countries more. Let's say China, US. But what about the developing countries? Like we always say that, developing countries are just developing. They are adopting new industries, technology. So why do they have to suffer? Why do they have to suffer? Why not? What's your take on it? Like, why don't developed countries try to limit themselves? Like they have already developed, they have already accomplished so many things. Let's say US versus India. India is still a third world. It's a developing country. So India is just, accomplishing those things which US already did 10 years back, right? So what's your take on that?
Um,
Just to add, like it can, cause environmental problem because India is also utilizing or making new factories, right? Just to enhance their production level. So it can deteriorate the environment. But do you think that is going to be a justice for the developing countries? What's your take?
yeah. Yes, it's quite difficult to answer because I really understand the question. Um, Here in India, you have two things very important. You are a lot of persons who are living in this continent, and what you mean is what you said. It's that you are developing, you have access to a better life, in fact, or industrial life. But we knows now that to develop and to make capitalism and to get some yes, to develop too much, we know that it's not a good thing for the planet. We are in danger, and everybody knows about that. And I think that India don't have to make the same thing that we do in US or Europe. You know, it has to develop itself, but in a different way, because we know the results. We have the results. We can see this before. So please don't don't make the same. Don't do the same, because it could be catastrophic too, for you and for us and for everybody.
Like there was a hidden message which I sensed, was that, countries which are doing it and countries who are suffering. I have seen that. I have sensed that. Like,
Suffering.
yeah,
Yeah.
suffering from the, cruel things which other countries are doing more. Let's say for China, the pollution level and everything.
Yeah.
They have causing the damage to the global environment.
Yeah. And for the citizen too, for the people who are living there, of course, a lot of damage for health, for example. I know that a lot of persons die because of the pollution in India, so it's a very big problem. It's yeah.
So do you think, is there any organization at present or can be made to seriously take all these things which are happening, and can look from a different perspective which you are looking from?
I think that the political decisions must be very strict now about environment and pollution. They have to be very inventive to fight this, to try to have a better life for the citizen, a better life, for breathing. It's so important for everybody that it could be only political decision. They can do that. They can, and they must very quickly make something.
What's your next project about?
I want to continue this one. That one. It's not really finished. I have to develop more things about biomimetism and bioluminescence. I am working with companies, and we are researching something more and more in this direction, because I really trust and really believe on that, and I think that it's the future for us.
So, one thought I had, the ideas which you have, it's hard to, showcase on screen. Like the animation which you used, VFX, every editing part. Do you think it's really hard for you? Like, it's personally, I'm going to ask you, does technology challenge you every time?
It is, and because I have to invent the forms to try to connect what I had in my brain with the reality, with what I filmed before. Yes, it was quite difficult, and I am also working with a person who helped me, to make it, because it's a very, very long time to make the sketches and to try it, to put it on the footage, and afterwards to take care about the colors and to integrate it in the reality, because I really want that you can. I was very happy because some people say to me, but where it is? I say, only in my brain. So
Like brain can think of so many things.
yeah. I think that I like to project and to dream a city,
Right.
and I want to give maybe good waves to the future, to the person, to the city, to the citizens. I really take care about how the person are living in cities now, everywhere, in India, in Europe, because the most part of the world population now is in the cities,
Right.
and it's her future, and we have to take care about it.
So, Mr. Pierre, it was really great talking to you. I'm really fascinated by your ideas, by your mindset regarding the environment, and how we can actually see the destruction in the near future, and how we can actually, solve those issues which we are going to face. It is going to be hard to implement, but the ideas which you represent, it is really extraordinary to see. I believe that people should see these movies. They have to understand these things, what you are trying to say. If you are not giving a direct message, but they should be, having their own senses to get in place. It was really nice talking to you, Mr. Pierre. If you have any message for the Indians or like everywhere people to how to take this movie or how to take this film in a real sense and how to make a better world.
Just have to yes, to see the film, and please think about how you would like to see your, for example, Ahmedabad,
Right.
the new Ahmedabad in the next 10 years.
Right.
How do you want to project yourself in this town, for example? For me, it's absolutely, we have to dream about what we want, okay? Because it's from this kind of things, science fictions and dreams are the vectors to change some things.
Right.
It's very important.
So thank you so much, Mr. Pierre. It was really nice talking to you. You guys keep watching Vibes of India for more videos. and I believe Mr. Pierre will come again in Ahmedabad for a new project, I believe, and I will be there to witness that. So thank you so much, guys. Keep watching Vibes of India.